Unit 4 Exam. Question 1. Consider the box plot below displaying the results of Exam 2 for two different Math 108 classes and select the statement that is not true. The range of scores for Class A is greater than that of Class B. The third quartile for Class A is higher than the maximum for Class B. Class B has more variability between the first and second quartiles than Class A. Class A had a higher maximum and a lower minimum score of the two classes. Question 2. Consider the 68, 95, 99.7 rule from FD Mat 108, and the national average height of 20-year-old females is approximately 65 inches with a standard deviation of 2.5 inches. At what national percentile is 20-year-old Hannah, who is 70 inches, or 5 foot 10 inches tall? Assume that female heights are normally distributed. 95th percentile, 97th percentile, 50th percentile, 68th percentile. Question 3. Consider the following statement. As the economy improved in our state over the last several years, the number of alcohol-related crimes increased. Which of the following statements is the best summary of this relationship? There is a negative correlation between alcohol-related crimes and the economy. There is a positive correlation between alcohol-related crimes and the economy. There is no relationship at all between alcohol-related crimes and the economy. There is a causal relationship between alcohol-related crimes and the economy. Question 4. Every fifth passenger on the subway is checked for illegal possession of firearms. What sampling technique is used? Stratified sample, convenience sample, simple random sample, systematic sample. Question 5. When is it unlikely that changes to variable x cause changes to variable y? When there is a positive correlation between x and y. When there is a negative correlation between x and y. When a scatter plot of the two variables show points lying in a straight line. When there is no correlation between x and y. Question 6. The standard deviation of a dataset is best described as a measure of the skewedness of the overall dataset, the spread of data values around the mean, the range of data values, the average values in the dataset. Question 7. Last summer, two statisticians, Dwayne and Maria, played a round of 9 holes of golf each week. After finishing their 7th and final round of golf, together Dwayne and Maria compared their individual scorecards, see below, and calculated their own average and standard deviation. Dwayne scores 40, 41, 42, 42, 38, 39, 41. Average 40.43. Standard deviation 1.51. Maria scores 39, 43, 43, 40, 40, 39, 38. Average 40.28. Standard deviation 1.98. Of the two, Dwayne and Maria, who was the most consistent golfer last summer? In other words, whose golf scores had the least amount of variation? Maria? There was not enough statistical information to make that decision. There was a perfect tie in consistency between the two. Dwayne. Question 8. The length of human pregnancies from conception to birth varies according to a distribution that is approximately normal, with a mean of 266 days and a standard deviation of 16 days. Using the 68, 95, 99.7 rule, between what 2 days will approximately 68% of the pregnancies be centered around the mean? 250 and 282 days, 234 and 298 days, 253 and 279 days, 266 and 298 days. Question 9. A hospital administrator finds a local study with a mean length of stay for women delivering babies was 2.5 days, based on 50 randomly selected women. Assuming that the national average is 2.1 days, and the probability of observing this sample mean of 2.5 days or longer was 0.31. The administrator concludes that there is enough evidence that their hospital stay is statistically longer than average. Is not a large enough sample size to draw any statistical conclusions. Is enough evidence that their hospital stay is statistically shorter than average. Is not enough evidence that their hospital stay is statistically longer than average. Question 10. In 2009, Sid and Myra were married and filing their taxes jointly. They had no dependent children and were claiming the standard deduction. Calculate their federal tax income for 2009, rounded to the nearest dollar, knowing that their adjusted gross income was $66,417. $6,323, $9,128, $8,253, $7,418. Question 11. Brad is married, filing jointly, with 2 dependent children at home. His adjusted gross income is $80,000. Assuming he claims the standard deduction, what is his taxable income for the year 2009? $61,300, $54,000, $65,400, $70,650. Question 12. In a study to determine the average weight of a house cat in your city, which of the following would be the best sample? Several randomly selected cats in each of several neighborhoods. All the cats in your neighborhood. All of the cats that a veterinarian sees in 1 week's time. Every 10th cat that a veterinarian sees in 2 months' time. Question 13. In a survey of 249 adults, 31% said they had tried acupuncture at some point in their lives. Find the 95% confidence interval for the true population proportion. 30.9% to 31.1%. 30.6% to 31.4%. 27.8% to 34.2%. 24.7% to 37.3%. Question 14. Roger Maris was the first Major League player to break Babe Ruth's home run record of 60 for a season when he hit 61 home runs in 1961. The following data set represents the number of home runs he hit during his career in chronological order. Find the lower quartile or first quartile of the season home runs of Roger Maris. 14, 9, 19, 16, 39, 61, 33, 23, 26, 8, 13, 9, 5. 9, 29.5, 10.5, 16. Question 15. Which of the following is an example of qualitative variable of study? Marital status: single, married, divorced, or widowed, of adults in your ward. Inches of rainfall per day in the Amazon jungle. Grade point average of BYU Idaho sophomores. Average cholesterol level for females in their teen years. Question 16. Which of the following distributions is most likely to be double peaked? Bimodal. The IQ scores of 6th grade children in your home state or country. The heights of all BYUI students. The last digit of ID numbers of college students. The heights of male BYUI students. Question 17. A study published in 1990 attempted to estimate the proportion of Florida residents who were willing to spend more tax dollars on protecting the Florida beaches from environmental disasters. 2,300 randomly selected residents throughout the state of Florida were surveyed. Which of the following best describes the population that was being researched in the study? The Florida residents who are willing to spend more tax dollars on protecting the beaches from environmental disasters. All Florida residents. The 2,300 Florida residents that were surveyed. All of the Florida residents who live along the beaches. Question 18. Imagine collecting and graphing a data set which compares student grade point averages, GPAs, to number of hours spent studying each week. if the data points fall in a relatively straight line, rising upward as the number of hours studying each week increases. We would consider the data to have a fairly weak negative correlation, no correlation at all, a fairly strong positive correlation, a fairly weak positive correlation. Question 19. Select the type of distribution that best describes the shape of the histogram below. Right skewed, left skewed, symmetrical, uniform. Question 20. The Social Security tax, also known as FICA tax, is collected from interest earnings, commodity trading, investment gains, wages. Question 21. Michelle scores a 680 on the mathematics part of the SAT examination. Assume that the distribution of SAT math scores were normally distributed that year with a mean of 500 and a standard deviation of 100. Kevin takes the ACT mathematics test and scores a 27. Assume that the ACT math scores were also normally distributed that year with a mean of 18 and a standard deviation of 6. With the understanding that both tests measure the same kind of ability, who has the higher score in comparison to their respective normal population of scores? That is, who has the highest percentile among their test population? Michelle, Kevin, not enough information. Michelle and Kevin are tied. Question 22. You want to test your hypothesis that your local supermarket is charging you more than the national average for breakfast cereal. The null hypothesis would be local cereal prices are higher than the national average cereal price. Local cereal prices equal the national average cereal price. Local cereal prices are 95% higher than the national average cereal price. Local cereal prices are lower than the national average cereal price. Question 23. Which of the following properties characterizes a left-skewed or negatively skewed distribution? The graph has the same balanced shape, but reversed on both sides of its peak. Most outliers lie on the high end of the distribution. The mode is less than the median. The median is greater than the mean. Question 24. Suppose you are in the 15% income tax bracket. A $500 tax credit would increase your income tax by $425. Lower your income tax by $500. Lower your income tax by $75. Increase your income tax by $75. Question 25. The advice columnist Ann Landers once asked her readers, "If you had to do it over again, would you have children?" A few weeks later, her column was headlined, "70% of parents say kids not worth it." Indeed, 70% of the nearly 10,000 parents who wrote in said they would not have children if they could make the choice again. Choose the most appropriate assessment of this particular survey from the following. Because the sample size of 10,000 is sufficiently large, the results can be trusted. Since the question is very clearly worded and all readers were given equal opportunity to write in their response, the survey is considered accurate. Due to potential bias in the survey, self-selected response, and not everyone reads Ann Landers, the results should be regarded as potentially misleading. The results should be regarded as potentially erroneous, since 10,000 is not a very large sample from the millions of readers of the Ann Landers column, and the margin of error will be huge.